Wild goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury is a Hall of Fame prankster. Some have learned to adjust to his antics.
Flower. No one's safe.
Yeah, no one.
Others aren't so lucky.
Flower.
No fees, all fun. Pay no fees on all remaining Wild home games when you purchase now through December 2nd. Offer is only available at wild.com/no fees.
This is Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast.
Did you guys see this? This is unbelievable.
What is that all about, Kinger?
Get in here for the real thing. Like, let's get weird.
Maybe I blacked out trying to figure out what was going on.
Doubt, worry, fear, because that's what we're breaking the mold on here.
Welcome to Wild on 7th, presented by Pilot Games. We're here until it's here.
All right, welcome back to Wild on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast, presented by Pilot Games. It's football season, it's hockey season, and it's fun to catch those games out at a local pub, a bar, maybe Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. But when you stop at those joints, make sure you're sitting down, you grab one of those tablets from Pilot Games, you play one of their fun games. There's a Wild game. There's a Vikings game. We're not encouraging all things football. We love hockey here on this podcast. But when you use their games, your community wins. They're a great supporter of your youth sports program. So check out the products and the tablets from Pilot Games. Kinger, winter, it feels like it's finally here. There's a little snow falling. You look at the extended forecast. It might be ODR season.
I just took my, you know how you have to take the cans out of your garage fridge because they can explode? We're at that point. Put them in a little plastic bin, moving them inside the house down to the basement fridge.
Is that more preparation for Thanksgiving or winter?
Well, the turkey is out there in the fridge, but I've had the unfortunate situation where all the stuff explodes in the fridge. Makes for a tough spring.
You know what I didn't know? Is that there are garage fridges. It's not just a fridge you put in the garage.
And that doesn't have that happen?
Right.
Because
they're insulated and somehow like the compressors are better because it can get too cold and that can wreck your fridge.
Yes. I wish I had a garage fridge. I just have a fridge in the garage, unfortunately.
You know where else it really looked like winter? In Calgary, when Travis Boyd had to carry his bag through traffic, slush, and snow with Dominic Henning to get to his Minnesota Wild debut.
I didn't even think that was real.
Is there anything more Minnesotan? I don't know that there is than a young man from Minnesota playing his first game for the Wild, carrying a Wild bag that, mind you, has North Star colors on it. So the bags are sweet.
Let's do it all.
If you didn't see the bag, just get a look at the bag. I want one of those bags. So he's ripping through traffic in ankle-deep slush on his way to the Saddle Dome to face off against the Flames. And he's got the team services guy, Dom, carrying his sticks. Dom's on a cell phone. Like, I don't know, man.
That whole Saddle Dome.
This is like Jerry Maguire kind of stuff. Like, just show me the money. Like, this is the show. This is the NHL right here. I don't know.
It was emotional.
More Minnesotan than that.
You put the right song on that video, like I'm crying.
It's like Rocky, maybe.
I'm crying. Yeah.
Like
just I don't even know why. Like, are his socks wet? Is he gonna get a cold? But when they kept showing that view of the Saddle Dome, and the city was behind it, but you couldn't even. It looked like something out of Mad Max. Yeah. I'm like, what is this?
It made you want to never go to Calgary.
No, yes, and all I know Calgary's got the Stampede.
Yeah, it's great.
It's supposed to be a party on wheels, but when I saw that, I was like, that is like a burn barrel trash can. Like I never want to go there. I'm so scared of this place.
My other favorite part about that is one of the videos is coming from a fan in a different car. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like
it's never mind. It's an NHL player trying to.
They know hockey.
Snowshoe.
They love
to the
hockey
rink.
that much that they just want to catch a glimpse of an NHLer carrying his bag into the rink. I loved that.
Yeah, that was a strong start for Mr. Boyd. I mean, it's the right way to do it. I mean, other than a polar plunge or something on the way to the rink, that is a great start. Do you think he had a double set of socks? Because his socks were wet. Do you think since he's like just new, like he just played in wet socks, or he went barefoot like Middleton?
You know what's actually frightening to think about are the kids with style these days wear no socks. He might have just had frostbite ankles. He might have had cold.
Yeah, that's right. The high on the calves, and
he probably had real leather shoes. Hopefully he treats them.
I was going to ask you this. It's related. Do you think about what you wear based on who our guest is for the podcast?
No.
But you asked Hartman about a leather jacket. You did. You consulted a manly man. You'll hear it in the episode today. I find myself like with the bunkhouse guys. I'm wearing my cowboy shirt today for the Hartman episode. I'll throw on a concert tee for Middleton. I do like a wine pairing with what I wear.
So are you the wine or the cheese?
I'm definitely the cheese, but I do find myself consciously being like,
You're not the main. Yeah.
okay, this is Marco Rossi. Maybe keep it tight, But like, I was just curious. Of course, you don't. But also driving in here today, there's a restaurant called Jakey's Wooden Peg Leg. Have you seen this?
No.
This is the name of the restaurant. It's a Caribbean grill. And in giant letters, it says Jakey's or Jackie's Wooden Peg Leg. And there's a pirate, like the old Pig's Eye. I don't know if there's somebody screwing with me and it's not going to be there when I drive the rink, but we should do an event at that place. Jackie's Wooden Peg Leg. No free ads. But
I feel like that should be the
Can
elbow.
you even do that?
That should be the elbow room's
should be
neighbor.
called the elbow room for the wild. I don't know if they serve alcohol, but I'm telling you, it's across the street from Tria. I was like, what the hell is this? Carter has to have seen this. You go to the nicer parking ramp, but I want
to take a second here and go back to this wine pairing outfit thing.
Yeah, this is a Howler Brothers. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I think I want to look like it's a cowboy episode. Hartman, by the way, pod bump we got to get into as well, pre-pod bump. But go ahead. What's the question?
So you're the cheese,
Yeah,
and then the guest would be the wine.
yeah, for sure.
And this segue is just too good to pass up. Where would you get the wine and cheese for this?
Well, not a lot of people know, but Cub does have liquor stores attached. Not to all of them, but they do. And actually, a great spot if you're hosting Thanksgiving or going to Thanksgiving. This is a spot to go beforehand. I just went into a liquor store and bought a nog with Fireball in it, liqueur. I'm going to do the big ice cubes and the cinnamon stick. They're going to have all that stuff at Cub. Maybe get, if your brother likes pale ales, get him some pale ales. I think it's classy when your guests come to have some things they like. Like, oh, Dad, I know you love gin and tonic. I got some gin over at Cub. Hey, Mike, I got you some pale ales. So keep it classy. Go to our hometown grocery store, Cub. We love them. They love you, Cub.
I also like that you can get your wine and cheese in one stop.
That's true.
That's what I like.
Get that sharp cheddar.
Yeah.
Smoked Gouda.
Yeah.
Yeah, why
I like
not?
that. I tell you what, I have water anxiety. I had a house where the basement flooded.
And you had a little Chernobyl over there.
I've been stressed since. Now it's ODR season, so I'm getting an influx of water. I'm afraid that if I overdo it, that the water pump, the well pump will go too, slightly stressed out.
Patience is the key to ODR.
Yeah, patience is the key.
The number one word, I would say.
But I also really like, and I've got iron in the water, I like the rink to not have an orange hue to it. So I've got to get the system operating right. I tell you, the only experience
Which kids
I've
are yours?
had
The ones with tails out of the breezers.
is Aquarius's service. They've made my water anxiety fade. They're the only ones that have been able to do it. We've got the great system in the basement. My experience with them has been second to none. I still love the fact that they come over, they service it, they put their booties on their feet, they walk downstairs, they're respectful. They let me know when they're coming. They tell me who's coming, what their name is, things that they like. It's a family-owned business. I think you can feel that. I'm comfortable letting them into my home with my family, and I trust that they're going to have my family's best interests at the forefront of their minds, and they do. They give us a wonderful product, a wonderful experience. I highly recommend Aquarius. You should use them too. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended.
Great work. Yeah, you don't want an orange hue on the sheet.
I get it. I've had it before too, but all the iron, once it oxidizes, goes to like the lowest corners of the rink.
Eesh,
so then I have two oranger corners, which I kind of like because
you call them the hot corner. Teach the girls to go play in the corners, and you say stuff
little
like
hot sauce over
"You're white
there.
bear, find the orange, play in the corners,
win the orange, get the corners."
See, we could maybe get a little Texas.
That was That was me this weekend.
Yeah, I do want
Whitebear
to.
Lake, Muscoheen.
Could I get a youth hockey update? I got the U12s rank 13. I got the U10s rank 18th. Give me a story.
I don't know about those rankings. I haven't seen everybody else. I think the 12s are probably going to climb right now.
Okay.
They won the Muscoheen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's personal.
Yeah.
Nice job. That's a great tournament.
Yeah. So that group, the core of that group, I think, has won it 2 years in a row now.
Yep.
So they're good at defending their home turf.
I think I saw you at Rudy's after when they won
That
it
game.
last. Yeah. Nice job.
The 10s. So I coached the 10s. We took third place.
Okay. Still on the podium.
Yeah. Yeah. We somehow found a way to win third place, scoring 6 goals in the tournament. There were some teams that were good.
Good goalie. Good back end.
Yeah, we do have a good goaltender. Yep, great. And we're finding out the offense. It's taking a little bit to adjust there, but still finding ways to win games. We're the 2004 Minnesota Wild.
Okay. Lemaire.
Yes, we're gonna win games 3-1, 2-1.
Great press conferences.
Third place game 1-0.
Oh, I love a 2-1, 1-0 hockey game. That's awesome.
Shots on the board were 7-4. Don't know how closely they were kept, but 7-4 were the total shots on goal.
You know what? Hey, that you won. There's no such thing as an ugly W.
So the Bears are feeling pretty good about how they handled
Trending.
the hometown tournament.
Good work. Yeah, Congrats, buddy. Congrats. Hey, do we have a phenomenon happening here, what I would call either a pod bump, a pre-pod bump? I think there's something called a pod thump, because we had multiple guys on the podcast that said they really wanted to get in a fight and then immediately went onto the ice and got in fights after. I'm sure the coaches love that. But so Hartman.
It's almost like they're listening to the podcast. They're like, all right,
maybe
now
Hartman.
there's this narrative.
Hartman might listen, I think. He's pretty social media savvy. He might dip in and dip out. But how about that? You're going to see it here a moment in this pod where we kind of say we talked about it beforehand, like, should we tell Hartman that we did bold predictions on
So
him?
Ryan Hartman's a guest today.
Yep, he's the guest, a great guest.
Pre-recorded.
He's always good, though. And we said, we got you on a heater for the season. I got you at 60 points. You got him at 30 tucks. And he just looks at us, and you'll hear it, and he just says, all right, I'll start trying now.
Yeah, he goes,
goes out. He scores a goal about 5 minutes, like right first goal of the game after recording. Couple assists in the next one. So I don't know if that's like a push gift when your wife's pregnant, because the episode hadn't released yet. But I would say he was in the pod zone. So is that a pod bump, or can you not get a pod bump until the people listen? It's an important question for us to sort out. Can we take credit for this?
I think we can.
Yeah, we motivated him.
Because it was the question brought to the forefront.
Hey, we're just saying.
Like, we need you.
Yeah, we need you. Like, we got some that aren't going to pay at the pay window. You could still pay. And to his credit, he went out and did it. And no, it's been...
It's like, some people need me, and he rose to the occasion. If we didn't express our need, perhaps he doesn't rise to that occasion, but he did.
We did. We do need Ryan Hartman. Another 5 out of 6 road trip carts.
Can this team lose in regulation on the road? I don't know if they can.
I tell you, I just got the TV tray out. I'm just sitting there, a little blanket on my lap. It's very satisfying. It's like watching the Wild in the 24-25 seasons, basically like having a fire in the fireplace. It just warms you up. It feels good, even when they're in trouble. Like that lineup against Calgary, 97 not playing, there's a pan of the bench, and it was like, I don't know that guy, 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 because there were so many new guys in the lineup, and you could watch people like Boldy, Faber. We got to talk about Jonas Brodin today. We don't talk enough about Jonas Brodin on this podcast as a whole. We'll get into him against Edmonton as well, but gutsy just to get the point. The shootout, my wife's so angry we lose the shootout. She's storming around the house. I'm like, this is a stupid thing, honey. We liked it 15 years ago. I loved it. I used to stand up. Any game that was in a shootout, I was changing the channel. Now you might as well go to center ice and flip a coin. It's the dumbest thing. I hate it. And because it makes you feel like a loser, and you're not a loser. So we don't have a trick shot. We don't have 3 trick shot artists.
Let's analyze that, though. On the flip side of that, when you win the shootout, do you feel like a winner?
I'm not going to anymore because I think it's dumb. I'm not buying in. I might just turn it off.
I don't mind it. It's the bonus point. It's the extra point. It has to go somewhere.
Well, she says to me, it does matter. You know, at the end of the season, that 1 point could be the difference. And I mean, she was pissed. And I'm like, it is good to have guys like Freddie. Like, you need some shootout guys.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I thought they should have had JoJo go. I think he's a shootout guy. There's these like crafty one-man breakout JoJo too. The ladder play, he doesn't need the ladder play.
And you're talking about on the power play.
Yeah, just give JoJo the puck. I think he can skate all the way down every single time. That's a good skill. I do not have that skill, but it's a good one. Yeah, I don't like the shootout. But 5 out of 6, great effort.
St. Louis, they got St. Louis's coach fired.
Yep. The anti-hero tour continues. Yeah, and then the Edmonton, I have a premonition that we're going to play Edmonton in the playoffs, and we're going to beat them. I love playing Edmonton. I love Jonas Brodin.
That's somewhat of a bold prediction.
I saw it. I didn't have a dream, but like I in my gut, I somehow think we're going to end up squaring off against Edmonton in the playoffs. I don't even know how likely that is, and we will beat them if we play them in the playoffs.
Well, right now, if we look at it, I suppose Edmonton is in one of the wild card spots. So if they stay on the outside, then the Wild they could play them.
I like that matchup. I don't know what it is.
If the Wild pass Winnipeg. So big game here tonight against the Jets.
Big game.
Wow. If you saw that. Otherwise, the only way that they're going to play each other, that's the only possible way if one of them is in a wild card spot.
If we ever get them in.
And then the other has to be in the first.
There's something about Jonas Brodin.
Or second round.
Brodin on McDavid is just, it's the greatest. It's stop, drop, and roll. You know, he might be on fire, but just stop, drop, and roll. We just smother him.
There's enough of a sample size now to say nobody in the NHL. Well, I don't watch everybody else as well as Brodin, but I would venture an uneducated guess in terms of the other 31 teams that nobody plays Connor McDavid better than Jonas Brodin.
Connor McDavid for sure hates Jonas Brodin.
If there's one player he doesn't want to play against, it's Jonas Brodin.
He'll never say his name.
He might not know his name.
He'll never acknowledge it. But you watch Four Nations. Sweden's going to play Canada, and Jonas Brodin is going to be smothering 97.
He's the only one that can cross over, in my opinion, backhanded the way that McDavid can cross, or backward skating that McDavid can cross over forward skating.
Chest to chest. He is unafraid. He will never turn and run like half the defensemen in the league against McDavid.
Right. And Brodin's stick is so good that McDavid, he can't inside out, he can't change, he can't go around, he can't go through him. And Brodin can laterally close space just as well. But I think you're absolutely right that Brodin, if he played McDavid more, call it like 20 times a year,
stats go way down.
McDavid's would for sure, but
BioSteel cuts their deal.
Everybody would be saying Jonas Brodin might be the best defensive defenseman in the NHL. Yeah. He's one of the only ones that can shut down the best player in the NHL. And McDavid, over the course of his career, I saw this stat. I think against the Minnesota Wild, they're this. So only one team has been better against him defensively, and that's the Vegas Golden Knights. And Vegas's D-core is probably more by committee. They've got, Pietrangelo, Theodore, McNabb. They had Alec Martinez. You go Haig, you go White Cloud. You go down the list. Those are all big defensemen. So they probably do it more by committee. And that I'm not taking anything away from the other 5D on the Wild's core, but it's more just Brodin and his ability to skate and shut that guy down. The matchup that they try to get there, it's been good, and there's enough sample size to where you can say this guy makes a difference.
There's enough sample size that they asked him about it, and it was funny. Brodin wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Either would I. I would not. You're not going to be like, yeah, well, it's just I don't know. We just match up really well. I feel good playing against it. He was like, this guy might be the best player in the world, which I want to come back to, and it just enjoy watching it. It's a good feeling to know that you've got the kryptonite when you're going against Superman. I mean, that's a good feeling. I want to go back to his comment, though, about the best player in the world. I'm watching that Edmonton game, and I'm thinking, I'm just curious. There's no way in hell I trade our 97 for their 97. I mean, and I know that universally Connor McDavid's considered the greatest player in the game, but there's just, I mean, Kirill is putting a season together that he's on that podium like the U10s, at least in the third spot, if not higher. I mean, he's been unbelievable. I think there's a case that, he's going to get MVP consideration depending on what happens with his health, which we'll get an update here in a minute. But what do you think of that? I mean, I guess that's just a total homer route.
I don't think it's a homer thing.
I wouldn't do it, though. If it was offered, I'd be like, nah, we're good.
Like straight up, let's say dollar for dollar, everything's the same. Straight up.
I wouldn't do it.
Why?
Because I think Connor McDavid has the weight of the world on his shoulders. I watched that Amazon. He has to win. Kirill wants to win. And I think those two things are fundamentally different. Connor is just carrying Canada's hopes and dreams. In order for his license to be current, to get tabs on his car, he has to win the Stanley Cup, or he believes he's a failure. Kirill loves hockey, loves playing hockey, and wants to win. And I just think you look at Tkachuk in his swimming pool, he had lost the finals the year before. He'd played a lot of hockey. And he's like, this is Christmas morning going into Game 7. And Connor says, I'm just ready for the madness to be over. I just think he's heavy. He's got a lot of heaviness on him. And I think Kirill still has joy. And I think that little difference, I don't know, man. I wouldn't trade him. I wouldn't do it. 97 for 97, I'm good.
To your point, I think that Kirill is heavier as a player, which I think helps you win when winning matters in the playoffs. And not that McDavid is...
He won the what's the award? He won the playoff award last year. The Conn Smythe?
Yeah,
he had the most
playoff
points.
MVP.
Yeah.
Not that his style isn't conducive to winning in the playoffs, but what both those guys are leaders for their team.
Yep.
And to a man, more guys in a Wild sweater can do the little things that Kirill does: win his battles, go to the corner, be strong on pucks, good on your edges. Kirill does all of those things, and I don't watch McDavid enough to say that he doesn't, but he has more skills that other players can't do. So you just have to be like, he's a little different. Let him play the game his way. You guys all have to play this way. Whereas where I think if you're the Wild and you're the team, you're like, we need to play like him. Versus let him play a certain way. Now we have to play this way to support him.
So Connor's almost he's like
too much of an outlier.
He's a freak. Like, well, I mean, no one can do that.
Too much of an outlier, a little bit. But the thing, I think McDavid is still going to be able to produce. He still does have the weight of the world on him. Now, where I will give him grace is some of that is marketplace. He has.
I can't
imagine. He doesn't
imagine.
just have Edmonton's weight. He has Canada's weight.
He does.
On his shoulders.
And I
Kirill
like
is free
him.
from any of that. Now, if you put McDavid in a Wild sweater and Kirill in an Edmonton sweater, it changes instantly, the pressures. Mm-hmm. And you might be saying the same thing about McDavid right now, where he has a will to win. He loves it. He has a smile on his face. There's joy. There might be something, too, that marketplace has so much pressure that it takes the joy from it. And
there's a sadness there, though.
Let me bring this back to the point I make. In May and June, look at the teams that are playing still.
Mm-hmm.
It's
sunshine.
The teams in the South, the sunshine, where the pressure isn't there, where it isn't mounting, where the weight of the world isn't on you all the time. The skies aren't gray. The snow isn't falling. You're not carrying your bag through ankle-deep slush trying to get to the Saddle Dome through traffic because you can't drive. Instead, you're driving through palm trees.
Slap shots and flip-flops, baby.
It's different. And so that's a hard... I'm with you. I think that they're both going to win. I think their paths are different, but I do think that McDavid's is much harder.
And once, by the way, to compliment McDavid, not that he needs it, once he wins that first one, you better look out. I mean, it's going to be completely different. Because there's just like a sadness now, and I think it affects his team. It's like, oh my God, oh boy. We just asked. We can say this. So we asked for the Bosch law injury report.
Yeah, so we just got an update.
This is a
we're
big
recording. We're recording the podcast morning skate. So the Wild are playing Winnipeg Jets. Kirill Kaprizov didn't play in the Edmonton game, or got hurt in the Edmonton game. Didn't play in the Calgary game because of a knee injury. Flew back Sunday afternoon, which was yesterday. Got an MRI and no serious structural damage. Listed as day to day on the ice this morning in preparation for Winnipeg's game. I think him being on the ice is a good sign and one that he'll play. I think when you handle superstars with injury, you do it differently. You don't let them go skate in the morning if they're not going to play that night. You say, take your rest. Like we don't need to test this. If you're good, you're good. If you're not, you're not. So him being out there, I think means that, hey, all of a sudden he's more likely, probable versus questionable versus even doubtful for the Minnesota Wild tonight against Winnipeg. So the Boschlaw injury report, which was starting to get pretty long with Husnudinov, Matt Zuccarello, Kirill Kaprizov, now we might be getting somebody back. So that will change things. That will change things in a big way.
Are you doing the game tonight?
Yeah.
I'm going. So it makes a big difference as a fan. We asked our producer to do Gladiator. We had a text come in, is he on the ice for skate or not? He just gave us the thumbs up Gladiator style. So that felt good for Bosch Law. But yeah, I think it's a different game tonight if 97's not in the lineup.
Let's talk about this for a second. I think if in September, October, you said the two best teams in the NHL were going to be in the Central Division, I don't think anybody would have said no.
But they wouldn't have picked the two that are there.
But they would have said it was Dallas and Nashville. They wouldn't have said it's Winnipeg and Minnesota. So the Central's good. And what that tells me even more, and we haven't had a lot of games against the Central Division and those guys, but they're also beating the best. So they're able to play in the best division and be the best teams in the NHL, having to play the best competition. And now tonight, it's kind of the Wild went their previous game against Winnipeg. They go into Winnipeg on the second of back-to-back. I think it was a Sunday night. Low scoring, low event hockey, different kind of game, but Winnipeg found a way to win that one. Maybe Hellebuck was the difference. But tonight now, it seems like this one is a battle of two NHL Titans right now. It isn't just a cute story that the Wild are off to a good start. They wanted to get off to a good start, and now they wrote a hot goaltender or a good first line for 5, 6, 7 games, and they're 5-1-1. No, we're at the quarter pole of the season, and they've got the second best record by points percentage in the NHL. They're the real deal.
And we don't like this team. There's a genuine rivalry with the Jets. Typically, their fans travel. I don't know that that'll be the case on a Monday night before Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. But, yeah, I mean, there's a history there. They've sat on 97, the slashing. It'll be interesting to see what we see tonight because it is kind of a mark your territory game.
I wonder if any Wild fans are going to have, like, Winnipeg Jets PTSD because they've got a Kirill that sat out the last game.
I know, and now they
coming back. But Winnipeg was, I think it was Winnipeg that caused Kirill to miss both on his previous injuries. Like
correct.
It was Logan Stanley falling on top of him, and then it was the cross check by Dylan last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Down low. They like to get him underneath his Ninja Turtle pad. Yeah, that's that. There could be some of that. Maybe that's part of the reason he's coming back. And let's go, right? Let's go. I mean, we go. So listeners at home, we got the big one. I think they call it a Central Division collision somewhere around town. And then we have to go to Buffalo the Wednesday night. It seems like every NHL team plays because we have the Thanksgiving break, which I think is really kind of cool.
Doesn't it also feel like every time we play Buffalo, it's like a Wednesday night? It's like the middle of the week. It's a toss-up. You got one eye on it, one eye somewhere else.
Yeah,
Buffalo seems like a team that we play but never play.
Yeah, you're finishing the turkey.
Do you ever recall like a Buffalo game?
You got the meat thermometer out, and yeah,
I don't know why that is.
I don't have a lot of emotions in the Buffalo game, and then back-to-back Blackhawks Preds at home. By the way, Central Division, so you got the Nashville in the bottom. They just beat Winnipeg. So this division's a handful. It's a bit like the NFC North, right? I mean, there's a lot of good teams and there's a lot of season left. I mean, it's going to be a grind. I think Utah's kind of fallen out. They're in the Central, yeah. Or are they in the Pacific? I don't even know. But I know there's a lot of scary teams. You never know what happens with Colorado. Nashville should figure it out after all these free agent acquisitions. The Jets are the Jets. I don't know about the Blackhawks, but it's going to be a street fight to the end, I think.
Yeah, I think it is, and I think that's not a bad thing. They'll be battle tested, but Nashville has a chance to be the Edmonton of last year still.
Yep.
Where they or what was it, St. Louis of 2019, where they were close to last place. They, in that case, I think they switched their coach, and all of a sudden they went on a run. That was Berube who came in and went on a run. And maybe St. Louis is trying to do that again. I don't think they have the roster right now, but Nashville.
They're a pain to play against, though.
Yeah.
I think every time you play St. Louis, it's going to be a hard game.
Yeah. And Nashville might be the team that they could go on a huge run like Edmonton did last year. They don't have the superstars like McDavid and Draisaitl, but I think they've got a little bit more depth. And if they can figure it out, that they're a team that can climb the standings. I want to talk quick about Marc-Andre Fleury, because as much as we've talked about how good Gustafsson is, it's been a different challenge for Fleury. If you go back to the Pittsburgh game, he didn't have a great start to that one either. It goes down 2-0, but then he settles in. It's almost like he plays so sparingly right now that he takes a period to get his legs underneath him and to catch up to the speed of the game and get settled in, and then he's great after that. And that was the case, I think, in his latest game too, the Edmonton game, where little gaff, misplays the puck, goes into the net. That could have sucked the wind right out of everybody's sail, but no, the club bounced back, he bounced back, and they find a way to win a hockey game. So Marc-Andre Fleury still impressing, and I think there's a lot to learn from a guy like that too, where the start of the game doesn't go your way, but it doesn't define the entire game. He doesn't let it get to him. And in games where it looks like, oh boy, it's not our night, he battles through it, and they find a way to win. Both those games, they've won, despite the fact that there was goalie issues. He falls behind early, and I don't know. I just wanted to point that out because I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was a weird game for him, right? He had the wraparound too with the kind of ramped off his stick, and I think it's almost like getting the 1 point against Calgary, right? It was the goalie version of that, right? To still get that win, even with the bouncing puck, all the crazy stuff. So, yeah, we haven't seen. There were games early when he came here where it just didn't look right, and then he's had stretches where he carried us as well. But yeah, he's a vet. I mean, he's a legend, and he's doing his job too. And Gus is carrying the mail.
The Wild are in the playoffs at Thanksgiving, so what is that? There's an 80-90% chance, or this is at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I still want to walk. I want to knock on wood so
there's
bad.
There's an 80 or 90% chance they make the playoffs.
Should I knock on wood? I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that true to form of the? Screw it. I just one knock.
But speaking of Thanksgivings, what kind of dressings are going to be on your table?
Well, you know what? I just went down to Jimmy's last week, and I don't know if you know this. Did you know ranch is America's best-selling condiment? Like ranch dip is more popular than ketchup. I was like, holy buckets. So if you're hosting Thanksgiving, and in Minnesota, by the way, because we're different, dill dip outsells ranch in Minnesota. Basically, it's almost like, remember when Mick Golden was the best-selling beer just in our state? Mm-hmm. So Minnesotans love themselves some dill dip, and they specifically love Jimmy's because it's using the natural sour cream. So if you're loading up, feeling sluggish, 3 football games, why not mix in a veggie tray with some Jimmy's dips? The dill dip, maybe get some ranch. Do it right. Minnesota-owned, family-run company, Jimmy's. Don't you be messing with my dressing.
If your house is set up in such a way over Thanksgiving, because it's going to be cold.
Yes, we're back. And we might actually have a winter.
Yeah, and your sofa's away from the fireplace. You can't feel the heat, but you can feel the cold draft from the window. Might be time for some new windows.
I would think.
Yeah, and it's never fun to have a cool, like you don't want to sit on the couch at Thanksgiving or the holidays and freeze your butt off. You want to be comfortable. So it's not too late now to have those exterior things taken care of and looked at. Wild Construction, we know what they do over the course of the summer with your roofs and your siding and your windows. But this time of year, they'll really focus on windows. They can do some exterior siding stuff. You can always check out their website if you have any anxiety about your roof or any of those situations, if you're in an area that had a storm. But specifically right now, pay attention to your windows. They can get those things fixed. Order them up. They'll come over, pop them in. All of a sudden, you'll be cozy on the couch instead of wishing that fireplace had an extra log or two on it. wildconstruction.com. They'll make it happen.
Nice work. I want to do a few more bouquets to some guys. I try to play the fan role on this podcast, and last year, man, Freddie Gaudreau and Johansson, they were the whipping boys of the fan base, right? People were very frustrated. Both of them off to great starts. I mean, Freddie and JoJo have just been awesome. I think Rossi is the guy. Nobody works harder than Marco Rossi. I mean, even no matter what line he's on, you can kind of count on him to be a piece of the puzzle. And I just think, that depth scoring, and sometimes Matt Boldy, fills the void when 97's gone, which hasn't been a lot this year. Feeling like I should knock on wood again. I'm not going to. It's a balance. But I just think great start for Freddie and JoJo. I mean, after a season when –
it's bounce back. It's all bounce back.
People were pulling their hair out. I mean, and somebody said to me, they go, I don't know, I think they were like, the guy scored, whatever. He still had 25 points and he was making $800,000. Like, what do you expect? It was kind of like, but now they're kind of going back to the Dean Whisperer days of Freddie Gaudreau and then the JoJo back in his heyday. So they're both playing great hockey.
And what it illustrates to me is pressure, what that can do to a guy, and then how mentally players view a season and how they can hit the reset button in the summer and forget a bad season and then get off to the next season good, and that's they'll ride that momentum. It's interesting, and if there's any sports psychologists out there, if you can crack that nut, you're going to make a lot of money someday because they just bounce back.
Gus, same
they're
thing.
Good players. Yep, they're good players. They got behind the eight ball. It was a negative run there, and they couldn't climb their way out of it. And it's hard to differentiate excuses from reasons. I'm sure there were reasons that it happened. Like Freddie Gaudreau's case is a little easier. He came back from surgery, maybe didn't trust his body, didn't get off to a good start, and then all of a sudden opportunity waned and maybe didn't feel good enough when he had opportunities to take advantage of it. That's one where you might be able to say that was a reason. Other times it's like an excuse, like I didn't feel good, I wasn't scoring, I never got confidence, I was fighting the puck, I didn't see the game. There's other excuses, and sometimes you just need to hit the reset. So it's hard to say whether there's reasons or excuses why they didn't perform last year. But the fact of the matter is they've bounced back. They feel good about the way they're playing. They're contributing to the team. Give some credit to the coaching staff for finding the right message to say to the group and to the individual to make them feel better and to produce more out on the ice. But management, coaching staff, they placed a bet this summer on bounce back, and that bet is paying off.
Sure is. And even you look at JoJo, I mean, playing with Boldy, there's still plays where he's getting a one-timer on a tee and he'll just miss, and he's just so pissed because, I mean, sometimes playing with those guys almost has to be hard, I would think, whether it's Kirill or Boldy, where it's like, I could either make you look really good or really bad, man, because it's coming on your stick, and the goalie's going to be on the other side of the net. You figure out what you want to do with it. But, no, I love seeing that depth scoring come back in. I'm still curious about the Hoosty, Murat, when he gets back. He seems like, I don't know, it's almost like if you mixed up who you put him with, I think he could do more as well. He seems to be able to get around out there.
Yeah, he's just got to wait. He's got to wait for his turn. They're playing well. There's no reason to move him up. That's the same with Jesper Valstead. Remember, we were having 3 goalies to start the year. He's just got to wait his turn now. It's unfortunate for him, but he'll be better in the long run because of it. But the hope is that they can get healthy. I do think that the road-heavy schedule has started to show up in their bodies right now. Fatigue is there. They're getting hurt. We've had a couple of guys with back issues that have held them out. Short stints with soft tissue issues, which for me are usually indicative of fatigue and schedule. So I think like Brodeen's injuries, Erickson X injuries. I don't know that we can call Kirill's injury that, but nonetheless, I think we can see in the injury report the toll that the road heavy schedule is taking on these guys right now. And the hope is that with some of these home games and a holiday and some other stuff coming up, that they can get back to full health and out there.
Yeah, and I think for people, that haven't looked at the schedule, I think the Wild play is it like 12 home games in March?
Yeah,
there's a month where I might have that month wrong because of the state tournament, but there is a stretch where they get the reverse of how they started here.
Yeah,
they are at home for a healthy stretch.
Well, I like that you wore the bunkhouse clothes for the bunkhouse guest here today. Should we throw it to him now?
Absolutely. Enjoy, Ryan Hartman. All right, friend of the program. This interview is sponsored by Duke Cannon. If you haven't been into your Target, your hardware store, if you're trying to sort out that hair game, make it a weapon. Actually, Mr. Hartman has a strong beard that can be grown pretty quickly, good hair. Go look for some Duke Cannon. Minnesota company, they give back to the military, which is outstanding. Big sponsor of the Wild. Work harder, play better. Welcome back, Hartzy. We always love having you, and congratulations on the new baby.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's a little lady?
Say again?
No, you got a boy,
I have
right?
a boy.
Okay.
I have a boy. Mitzi has the girl.
Okay, yeah.
That's the girl dad.
Keys Grady.
Keys
Do we
Grady.
go, is a KG in play or no?
No.
And you call him Grady or Keys?
Keys.
Nice. That's a cool name. What's the origin of the name? How did you, I feel like you were involved with the name selection.
So it's my middle name. It's my grandfather's middle name. It's like a family name. It's like a maiden name from my mom's side. That kind of came back with my grandfather, and then his middle name is her grandfather's name.
That's strong names. Both Keys is cool. Stevie on a girl.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got the naming dialed.
Yeah.
You're not mailing it in. That's really good.
How old is Keys?
3 months yesterday. So,
Wow, right when the season started.
yeah, it was good because it was like during training camp, so it wasn't. We knew where I was going to be home. It wasn't like Midzi where he was on call.
Like on call.
Especially us being gone from the start of the year so much. So the stress wasn't as high as probably Jake's was.
So you had a better family planner than Middleton did.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's your dad's strength? Have you, you're a pretty hard guy as it is, but have you noticed anything? Are you able to pick up things or drop this step ladder down from the attic and lift up a riding lawnmower with one arm?
Yeah.
Are you feeling it on the ice?
Yeah, a little dad strength. Yeah. I think it's a lot more mental than anything, but yeah, I feel stronger now.
Well, you can go out in the garage now and apparently craft a few things out of just wood and chain and spray paint now, right?
Yeah. I'm a provider. So, yeah.
So tell us about that. The hard chain, you just were like, yeah, just give me the team credit card. I'll go to Home Depot and I'll come back with something.
Yeah. Well, I'm in charge of the team card anyway, so I already had it. And then, I was talking with Moose, trying to find something different from last year. We had that Viking helmet that weighed 25 pounds, and Benzie complained every day about how heavy it was and how much he had to travel.
Those equipment guys, they work hard, you know.
And it was It was like the opening of it would close in every game because it would just get smashed and during the travel. So it wasn't a great way to travel with that thing. But yeah, so Moose was, we got to incorporate something with the message of being hard and playing hard and choosing our hard. And we talked about finding a chain, and if there's something, maybe we put something on it. And so I was like, let me go get the chain and we'll figure something out. And the chain actually was next to the
Mailbox
stuff and the signs. And there was that whole, there's a stack of signs for beware a dog and keep out, trust, there's a bunch of signs. I'm like, oh, there might be something in here. There wasn't anything. Then I found a blank one and then some letterings and stuff. So I was like, maybe I'll just spray paint something. And probably started on it in the garage around 7 o'clock the night before the game and forgot about how long it takes for everything to dry. So I was kind of rushing it because I kind of want to get some sleep, but I kind of had to get it done so I probably finished around 11 o'clock, but turned out good. Still together. Still hasn't fallen apart.
I love that that's it's not breaking. Like that, it's the craftsmanship that you're most intrigued with.
Yeah.
Will it make it the whole year?
I mean, it was like I said, thrown together with no drawing, no plan. I mean, it's a pretty simple task, but like I said, if it falls apart, my biggest worry every time someone puts it on is that sign's gonna one side's gonna swing down.
Yeah, and then everyone's going to look
Yeah,
at
I
you.
know.
If you've won it 3 times, they take 2 of them away. We were debating. You for sure don't ask anybody at the Home Depot where stuff is, right?
No.
You don't go
you
orange
go
vest. No orange vest guy ever.
I'll walk around for an hour to find one thing.
Because that would be
In
shameful.
circles.
Shameful, and I do sometimes go home and I'm like, I get the wrong thing. I'm like, why don't I just ask a question?
Can't
It's
ask.
not that hard.
There's
They
no
know
store.
exactly.
There's no store that I forget things more than Home Depot or like a home improvement store though, because you go there with 5 things on your list and you look and look and look and look and look forever and you're like, shoot,
Testing out drills.
that's true. It's tough to walk past it. They put that right in the middle of the
Yeah.
store, so you have to stop by the power tools. That's
Yeah.
so-
No, I get distracted in there too. It's very there's a lot going on.
yeah.
I wanted to get. I asked for somebody to send me some questions, and this guy says, I saw Hartzy's truck at the golf tournament when we played in it, and it was a newer truck. It wasn't the 1998 one he's referenced, and it looked like it hadn't been washed in a year. He said, "Is he gritty and hard away from the rink in other ways? Like, you're not getting your car washed on the 15th of every month?"
So we had an issue with my sprinkler system at my house. So I would park on the left side of the driveway, and the sprinkler was going off at night and getting the whole left side or driver's side wet. And then the
hard water?
hard water, and then it freaking
You can't get that off.
no,
though.
no.
Even a car wash doesn't get that
I
off.
know. It started to come off a little bit. The windows were the worst part because it was just looked just dirty, and I couldn't get it off. And I've maybe found some remedies what was it, vinegar and
Well,
some random stuff. But
it's vinegar, baking soda, and lemon juice solve all problems
Yeah.
everywhere. It seems like, but
yeah, so it looks better now. I've kind of got some of it off, but
I like that there's more pickup guys on the team now too. There's a handful of pickups.
Who are the pickup guys? Who on the team?
Bolds.
Boldy just get a new one.
Yeah, in the last year.
Bogosian's got a nice
Bogosian's
one.
got the nice TRX. Jake.
The bunkhouse
Who
guys.
else? Goose used to have one. Yeah, you need at least one guy because it's nice that there's more because I was always the, hey, can you help me move something guy all the time. It's like, hey, I need to move a couch or pick up a couch or a table.
Can I take
Can you
your
help?
truck?
So now that there's multiple guys, get a lot less calls.
Yeah. And then you could be like, the Raptor's not really like a moving vehicle.
Yeah.
It's more like a fast one.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's good.
I will say
So
that TRX blows my truck out of the water. That thing is Bogosian's truck.
That's the Ram.
Yeah.
That's the Ram version of the
The
Raptor.
Raptor, yeah.
Like a souped up truck.
Yeah.
Fast off road truck.
Yeah.
And his is
Powerful.
superior.
Yeah, it's powerful.
You've driven it?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to say what I did with it. I raced it maybe a little bit. Quick off the line. Quick off the line.
Tested it.
Yeah. Just a short little sprint.
Down Shepherd Road on the way to the airport.
Exactly.
We'll get you out of here before you have to do that today.
I got a big race coming up.
I want to ask. I want to do some hunting, fishing stuff. I had some more questions. Somebody said, "What species do you like to fish the most? Do you have places you like to fish the most? And do you actually fish? And are you able to get out in Minnesota and do any fishing?"
I haven't done much fishing in Minnesota. I've done some ice fishing. I go back to Chicago in the summer, so.
What do you like to fish for?
Largemouth, mostly. I do most of my fishing when I go visit my cousin down south, like Alabama, and if I go back to South Carolina, some saltwater fishing. But I do enjoy, largemouth, especially as nice as it is, the Midwest, down south, where they're eating year round and they get a little bigger. And
I love fishing bass because if you're like attention deficit like me,
Yeah.
I like just casting,
Yeah.
just all the time,
Yeah.
just swinging it out there, listening to some music. I can't do the walleye thing. I can't do anything where you just sit there.
I'm more of a pond. Like I like smaller ponds, fishing on foot. Like I don't need to be in a boat.
Oh, you like to be on land and throw it in.
Well, half the bass fishers are up against the shore anyways. Like
The grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
You got to be in a boat so you can fish the middle of the lake. Then you get on the boat and you want to.
you don't want to fish in the
shoreline.
middle of the lake. Yeah, there's no structures in there.
No, you need. I always look for the weed beds.
Oh,
right.
I love bass fishing because you can just see what's a good spot. Like you can just tell it's just like a log in the water.
You're like, if I was a bass.
If I was a bass, and if I was a bass, I would live there. If I was a bass, I would eat this.
Yeah, exactly.
You look at your bait, it's like I would eat that.
That's probably the only one you can do that with. That's
Yeah.
pretty accurate.
How do you feel about muskie fishing?
It's good. I mean, I've done it a handful of times. Fished Lake Vermilion a while back, caught a 50-inch.
Oh, so you got one.
Yeah,
That's good.
We got it my first cast on the first day, and
Some guys just have
I had
it.
never muskie fished up until this is like probably 10, maybe even 13 years ago now.
That's better than a hole in one catching
And
a muskie.
I don't like telling people that because it's just like
It makes the purists mad because they're still looking for their 50.
right.
They're on cast 30,000.
Yeah. It was kind of like, let's just pack up and go. But we caught up maybe the rest of the trip. But it was like a week-long trip.
Because we had the event. This was probably 2 years ago, late September. It was supposed to be good fishing, and local guide Ryan Hartman took us out to Forest Lake, and then it just turned out to be the worst
The
possible.
water temperature was like 75.
Middle of September, it
78
was like a
degrees.
90-degree day. You couldn't
It
stay
was
cold.
It was cold like 2 days prior, 2 days after.
Right.
Just like that one day.
Just hot.
I think we had one follow-up early.
We had a follow, but that maybe is the law of averages playing out. You catch a 50-incher your first cast, and then now you go
Yeah.
out one more time. So
Yeah.
we're maybe cursed.
I fished. We did muskie fishing up in Canada. I was actually the only one out of all 5 guys not to catch one. We had our guide that he flew us into this lake that gets fished like twice a year. He's like the owner of the outpost, and he flew us there and landed, went fishing, and we're in this little area they call it Dead Duck Bay because all the baby ducks hatch and they swim across, and if you sit there, you can watch the muskie
wow.
eat the ducks. And there's this 2 little rocks, and he goes, cast it right there. So I cast, and I missed it. I went to the right of the rocks, not in the middle. And as I'm like reeling it back, he cast it in there and pulled up like a 48, 49-incher. He's like, it was like oh, it's a great fish. He goes, I'm not a tour guide. I'm just showing you around. Like, I'm going to catch this fish. You missed your spot. You had your chance. Gave one cast. He goes, nope.
No mercy, huh?
He caught it. He said he's probably caught that fish, a handful of times.
Just that's where it
where
sits,
yeah.
huh? I like that.
So, hey, this will come out Thanksgiving week, but you're going to host a couple holiday parties. What goes into your situation? Are you a good cook? What's your setup? You got a little bar going? Do you lay on the floor after you eat the turkey? You watch all the football? What are you excited about hosting?
So we are not hosting Thanksgiving. We're going to Thanksgiving hosted by one of my wife's aunts.
Yep.
And we'll maybe bring something, but we are hosting Christmas for my family. Got to make sure to have a good bowl of eggnog, or I guess not. You don't call it a bowl.
Yeah, they call
Communal.
Yeah.
Whatever you call it.
What do they call that? Like a wop? Is that what it's called? Where you have the big bowl?
Yeah.
And it's
I feel
you
like a
got
wop is like a
eggnog with
punch.
something in it, right?
Yeah, spiked eggnog.
Yeah.
And,
And it's brandy. Is that what you put in eggnog?
yeah, it's a little bit of I think brandy and
Eggnog's
I haven't
great.
made it in
I never had it.
a few years.
Oh, it's
but,
great. You would not like it. You don't even like hugging. You wouldn't like eggnog.
I like
It's
to
like-
I like to
it's-
slowly
It's
add
actually like a hug.
throughout the night. Just kind
put
of every
more
time
in
you
there.
walk by, just and then by the end of the night, everyone's kind of like, "What the hell isn't that?"
How about cooking? Are you doing the cooking or not? Are you like, what are you going to
What is
serve?
hosting?
What are you going
What
to
does
serve?
hosting entail?
Well, everyone's from out of town, so no one's really bringing anything. So it will be. I don't know. We haven't really discussed food. I'm sure we'll make some stuff, and I'm sure my mom and maybe some family will help out with some special.
Oh,
like
okay.
Their signature dishes, whatever. My grandma's coming. I'm sure she's gonna want to make something. But yeah,
Have you hosted at this house before?
a Christmas or like a
Or anything big?
holiday?
The reason I ask is I feel like
No.
when you're married now, you have like hosting duties.
Yeah.
Like my wife will be in the kitchen doing certain things, and I'll know that it is time to get the vacuum out and start cleaning. Like it'll be my job to have everything set, everything nice, everything picked up.
And the couple days before your host, terrible.
Yeah.
Like if I could stay at a hotel the 2 days before we host, like the amount of stress and fighting, that's not something. Hopefully you're on the road like a couple days before that.
We hosted some friends like when we first moved into the house from out of town that were, it wasn't like a family gathering or anything. That's a little different, but this will be a first big family gathering.
Yeah. Well, the only advice I have is just get the vacuum out and just vacuum like around where your wife is all the time, just so she feels like you're doing it
something
all the time.
Like hit her
Or it
feet.
could be spotless in that spot. It doesn't matter. Just so she hears and sees you doing it. I took care of something. Yeah.
I want to know. So Carter's got this thing, dad of only daughters.
The dudes.
The dudes, but you're a dude, D-U-D-E. You're a bunkhouse guy. Give us some guy stuff you're into. Are you watching Lioness? Do you got a new knife? You got a clothing brand? You got some music? Give us some a new beef jerky flavor. Give us some dude stuff that we can put on our playlist. You watch anything? A movie?
Purchased some new weapons recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Purchased a lever action 357, kind of like a John Wayne gun.
Okay. That sounds appropriate.
Yeah, that's I'm pretty pumped about that one.
You watching anything you like?
I watched The Penguin, finished that.
See, I've been
What's that?
hesitant because it's a gangster show, basically, not a superhero show.
It's based off of Gotham, right? It's the Batman Penguin character, and it's what's his name? The English dude.
Colin Farrell, the
Colin
Irish
Farrell,
guy
Irish,
with unrecognizable, right?
Yeah, he.
Did you like it?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's dark. It's really dark, but it's a good lead-in. It's post last Batman movie, and then it ends, and it's gonna pick up the next Batman. They said so.
It's funny because we thought your Halloween costume was the Joker initially
Oh, my
because
gosh.
we are not as dialed into the internet as Ryan
What is it?
Hartman,
I
but-
like turtles.
I like turtles.
I mean, I've watched that video now.
I
You
didn't know.
introduced me to
I
it.
didn't know, and then I saw the video, and I was dying, and I didn't correlate it. Totally.
That's a deep cut, by the way.
Yeah, it was deep.
That's
it was
deep.
into the archives. I wish I got it the spray, the paint sprayed on. It was a little cleaner. It was a little. Did it myself, and I didn't shave before, so the hair was coming through, so it looked a little sloppy. But I think people got it.
No, it was very.
The shirt said "I like turtles" too, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. That was to make sure people knew.
yeah.
And then I stood. I took my shoes off and kneeled in my shoes the whole night.
Method.
Yeah.
That's some Daniel Day-Lewis stuff there.
I got a style question for you based on shows. I'm watching actually one right now, Silo. Have you guys watched that at all? Amazon.
I have not seen
I think
that
that's Apple TV.
Sounds good.
It's all right. It's deep.
Is it about farmers?
Little sci-fi. No, people just live in a silo. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
is this like the apocalypse? Isn't it
Yeah,
like the
or something.
world's ending up above?
yeah,
And the silo's like underground, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay,
And they just live in the silo. They don't get to go outside.
Yeah,
but
then
that
all of
might
a
all
sudden
be a lie because it might be nice outside.
whoever owns it or whatever, they start like questioning him or
Yes.
while he's keeping them in there or something.
Right.
Okay, I've seen the preview for that.
Yeah, pretty good.
And there's a style question related to this, which I can't
Well, no,
wait
this
to
is a
hear.
different one because this is
Okay.
also on Apple TV Plus. Wolves. I watched that movie. Did you watch that
with Pitt and
Clooney?
I heard it wasn't
I
good.
watched it without. I was kind of paying attention, but I was kind of
One eye open.
Yeah,
Yeah. I sometimes do that to fall asleep, like one AirPod in, movie on, try to fall asleep.
yeah. I'll have to watch it again, but I did see most of it.
Yeah, it was okay. But the reason I'm wondering is I'm in the market for a new jacket now, and both those guys in that movie have nice black leather jackets on.
Like
And
motorcycle ones,
And
kind
I
of.
was
or-
thinking, that's too old. That's too dad-like.
This
And
is a
then I
cool
was-
quote right here.
And then I was thinking, when I think about my dad, he was about mid-40s. That's like the image burnt into my brain from my dad. Like,
Yeah.
he's like full dad mode, mid-40s. That's me. Do I need a leather jacket right now?
Yeah, you do.
Why not?
I do
Everyone
feel like I
needs
need
one.
a leather
Yeah.
jacket.
Yeah, you have to have one.
Yeah, you should get one in Nashville when we go. I don't know when we go.
January 18th.
Wow.
Oh, you got that circled up.
I'm going.
But I noticed because you kind of have a nice leather insert to your jacket right now.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that.
And I want to be like, is it the year of the, can I get a leather jacket? I don't know. My wife was like, no, Ryan, you cannot pull that off.
You can. Yeah, you can. Maybe get like a light brown.
Look at a brown one.
Yeah, I don't have to go like black biker because that's kind of hard to pull off. I feel like.
Yeah, that's
like a
little
lighter
bit
brown.
Like brap. Yeah.
I hunted one for years. McConaughey used to wear this rust orange leather coat on the sidelines with Texas. And I wanted it so bad I couldn't. I saw it once and I didn't buy it. And then I saw it again. It's You need a leather coat.
Really?
Yes. You're at the age now where you should have
I'm
one.
full dad, mid-40s. I need a leather jacket.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
So if I'm catching heat at the rink, you'll back me up here.
I wouldn't wear it at the rink right away. No, I'm just kidding.
I do think
That's
Nashville's
actually
a
where
good spot.
I was like, you could never wear that to the
That is where you test things out, though.
Like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm in the seat now, just to see.
I'd wear a vest to the rink, and every time I see Billy, he calls me Han Solo. So it's like, now I stop
You'll
wearing
know
vests to the rink.
instantly on your purchase when you wear it to the rink if it's accepted or not.
Right.
It's tough too when it's like I had this white suit or like super light tan suit, and just instantly everyone was calling me Boss Hog, which is not what you want. So like once it gets ruined, you got to phase it in. He's right. I would try it on the bench with the U10s because none of those girls are going to say anything. They're young, and just kind of get it warmed up before you bring it to the ring.
It does suck though when you're like pretty excited about something. And you walk in, and you're like, nice jacket. And you're just
Yeah, then you get chirped hard, and you're like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Here goes
I suppose we should ask
goes
him
a
about.
My wife bought it for me. I didn't buy this. It was a gift.
It was a gift. I
It's
have
a
to
gift.
wear it.
I'll return it.
We should probably ask him about hockey. At least a couple questions. Great start, best in franchise history. A reverse image of last year. You know, they've been staying healthy, good goaltending, quick out of the gates. What do you think is was it camp? Is it Hines? Is it a chip on the shoulder? Why do you think you guys got out of the gates so well?
Yeah, camp was really good. We were prepared from the first drop of the puck this year. I think preparation and system stuff, knowing where to be, and you can play so much faster when in this situation this puck's going here. So if you know where the puck's going, you can get there earlier, and that makes other guys be able to, I wouldn't say cheat, but anticipate things more and maybe get a lot less standing around kind of waiting for things to develop when you know exactly where the puck's going to be going in certain situations. And sometimes you're able to catch teams, but it's like I said, we're playing fast, we're defending really well. I think that's a huge thing. We're not letting up a lot, and we're getting some really good goaltending. So it's kind of just everything's been going really well, and something. I think we only have 3 5-on-5 goals in the last 3 games, so we obviously want to score a little bit more 5-on-5, and we've been kind of working on, getting pucks to the net more and having some, crash in the net and getting some dirty ones.
Save percentage across the league is down, like under 900, I think, on average, which is different from years past. I don't think it's been below 900, for a long time.
No.
Why do you think that is? I mean, while they're getting good goaltending, you touched on it. Game faster? Is it the sticks better? Guys are more skilled? Like, it's a younger league now.
Yeah.
But I don't think the goalies are younger.
It's not like there's more power plays or anything, is there?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, than 20 years ago, probably, yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe better sticks.
Yeah, I just find that interesting.
It's a good batch this year of sticks, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little more pop to them.
Yeah.
It's like the juice baseball from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they always.
Puck's just flying.
I feel like they always
faster.
they do juice those balls. I feel like right around July. I feel like mid-season when baseball's kind of down and runs are down, they're like, all right, we gotta change this up.
They got to find a way to get through all that humidity.
Yeah, exactly.
Just cork it.
Marcus told us that you spray paint your stick just black, just
For the fumes.
murdered out every game, and then the whole hallway smells like paint. Is that a true
It's
story?
I love that smell. It's like gasoline.
Just hammer it black every game.
It's something. I do use a new stick every game, and it the lettering, at least on a couple older models, was very shiny.
Yeah.
Looking down, and there was like this little seam where you can kind of see where the factory makes the sticks, and it was like darker than the rest of the stick, and it would always mess with my eyes. Like it was like when I looked down, it was like almost the first thing I would notice. So I started spray painting it, and then it became kind of like just a routine to get to the rink, get dressed in my under stuff, and just go spray paint the stick. And it's slowly been getting higher and higher, and I'm trying not to get too high because I've gotten all the way to my hand once, and I was like, my whole glove was turning black. And now that I'm playing wing, it stays a lot longer. When I was playing center, 2 face-offs, all that paint just rips off. So
Where do you
You
spray
got to put a little
paint it?
primer on first, maybe, or
I
something.
I put clear tape probably right between the C and the C, the two C's
Yeah.
on the CCM at the bottom, like halfway up the C, and I do it down to right where my tape starts. So so now that I know where my tape is, I start the tape there, and then it goes all the way up.
I love hearing about how guys have like their little things just to get them like focused.
Yeah.
Like that's like focused.
You know,
work.
it's game time when you smell that paint. You know,
Right.
it's like your body's like.
And you got your spot. You know how to get it exactly how you want. It's just kind of it's like soothing and relaxing a little bit. Go there, do your own thing.
It's clear. I always check in with Ecker. We keep tabs on perfect paint jobs. Sometimes they bubble, and sometimes maybe there's a little like hair in it, and sometimes it doesn't look great. So I always check in with Ecker. He goes like, "Oh, that's a perfect one. That's a good."
He's got a good.
That means
eye
you
for
got
it.
that means you got a good game coming usually.
He's got a good eye for it.
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus Foligno said that your hockey IQ is probably one of the more underrated in the NHL right now. You agree with that? You think people look past you as like an offensive person, like scored 30? You're one of those guys that I do think surprise people with how talented you are offensively. You feel that?
Moose has been hyping me up a little bit.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I do like. I feel like when I do get great opportunities, like I feel confident that I'm going to score more than not. I feel like in spots, I feel like I do have a different from other goalies. Like talking to them I do have a different type of release than I'm more of like a sweep,
Yeah, like a whippy sweep.
which I can either shoot it fast or I can delay it and wait for them to make a move. Like I feel like it's just how I learned to shoot growing up, and it's very different from I guess other shots where guys are pulling it in and snapping it. I'm more like drag and then up or drag and then low. It's like a late delayed release.
This is a really interesting conversation to have because I think a lot of kids right now are taught to use like the same stick and then shoot the same way. Pull, drag, shoot, pull it in like you're saying, get it to like the toe of your blade and then snap it. You know? But you're saying that the way that you think you fool goaltenders from time to time, and the reason that the save percentage is under 900 for the first time in decades is because your shot looks different.
Yeah.
Just looks different to the
I roll it
goaltender.
from heel. It goes heel to toe. So I'm rolling it like this. So the puck's here. I'm starting it here.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting it like this. And
you can release it anywhere.
anywhere from here. I can release it here. I can release it here. And it can always change based off if the goalie goes down, if he doesn't go down. And last second, I can also like turn it over and make it go that way. Like, I don't know. It's just something I've always shot in a weird way growing up. Like I was taught to like, you shoot off the back foot.
Yeah.
It's a snap. Like I was always getting in trouble from an old coach growing up. They're like, no, there's no power. You're not strong enough to shoot off your back foot. You got to lay into it.
I kind of tell kids now, like, shoot your own way.
Yeah.
You don't have to shoot the way that, like, I'm coaching you to
Yeah.
shoot.
Well, you don't have to shoot as hard as you can either. Like you're not, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's going to go in.
Right.
You gotta be-
Deceptive is maybe better than
Sure.
hard.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. And find your own way to get a deceptive shot. The hard part is you walk through a youth hockey store right now, there's two curves. It's like the P28,
Yeah.
the old Sakic, and
Right.
then like the one that's a little bit bigger curve. Like back in the day, you remember like Montreal? Did you grow up with like Montreal, like wood sticks, or are you still young for that?
I use Mission growing
Mission.
up, which is a little different off-brand, I guess. But
Mission was a big company here in
Was it?
Minnesota.
Hmm.
Yeah, big company here in
you
Minnesota.
can the two-piece, and then it breaks, and you flip it and put the
When it's
blade
up,
in
yeah.
the top.
Yeah. Remember the old, I think it was the Eastons too, the aluminums were, you may be still too young for that, but you'd get a bow in it and then you just flip the stick the other way and then you'd be
Pull it back.
straighten it back out. But they used to have like, I don't know, a half a dozen to a dozen different curves. You'd be able to get like the coffee, the Nolsey. There was like
There's a bunch.
yeah, there was a
Iserman,
bunch of different
Backstrom.
curves. Yes.
Well, I guess that was Sakic, wasn't it? Backstrom.
The Backstrom, yeah, they all have
Sakic
different
turned into
names
the
now.
Backstrom,
Yeah,
and that
but it's
turned
the
into
same
something
curves.
else. Yeah.
But there used to be a half a dozen, if not more, curves, so kids could play with a different style of stick and it would look different. Now I think there's like two main curves, and all the kids look the same when they shoot and stick
I
hand.
haven't been doing a hockey store in 15 years, so I have no idea what's the
Oh,
market.
you'll
looks
be
like.
there soon.
I know. maybe more of a golf store.
Yeah.
How is the golf game?
That's not good.
No,
No, that's fine. I just
shambles. You got a
hard to
simulator
play
or
with nine
anything? What do you do
fingers.
in the winter?
It's fine. I just just some stuff creeped in this year, and I wasn't playing as much. And,
I love the legitimate disappointment right now.
yeah,
It's just not where I want
I
it.
play in a big tournament at my club in Chicago every year, and shot a 90. My last day I blew up and kind of took me off the game for a while. I actually just joined a course out here, and so I'm trying to get a little more into it here. But like I said, I'm not here enough in the summer to play here, but I do play a bunch in Chicago.
I want to get you in that tournament. So I just completed a sober October because of a golf tournament that I play mid-September. Not encouraging you to partake in all the things that led me to be motivated to have a sober October.
Yeah.
But I want to get you in that golf tournament. That'd be fun.
Is that the one? Were you with Al during that?
Yeah, Al shows up
Yeah,
for it.
Okay, he's
Yeah.
not golfing.
He hasn't golfed yet. I think next year he will. Well, he's always been playing.
Yeah,
So
that's
he'll
true.
he'll have to be gone.
That's true.
Because it's like right before training camp starts, so everybody's gone
Yeah.
to the destinations that they're
Yeah,
at.
that'd be
but
cool.
These people are here. But yeah, no. So the golf game, like, what crept into it? What?
Just everything. Bad off the tee. Bad.
Just a bad year.
Didn't work. Didn't work. I usually work
Did
on my
you-
game a lot. I go to the range for a few hours. When things creep in, I just didn't. I just go out and play instead of practice. It was just like I'm not going to really practice much this summer. I just go play. But I usually spend a lot more time in the range, which I'll probably do.
Did you try any of the other tactics? I feel like last year you shaved. You shaved when you needed to change things up.
Yeah,
for you.
I didn't try that with the golf game.
You didn't try that with the golf game.
No,
You should spray paint your clubs.
that's a good idea.
Just hammer them. Like if
good
the
idea.
5-iron's sucking, just blast that
That's a
thing.
really good idea.
Get some fumes.
Get them in the Santa Sport first, though. Make sure they're good and clean. You wouldn't want any dust or hair on those.
No.
Yeah, he's in a club now. They may not like the fumes. You get moved around the lineup a lot, which is a compliment to you because you're Swiss Army knife. You can do stuff. But is that frustrating to you, or do you wish you were playing with the same guys for an extended period, or it doesn't really matter? Maybe it gives you energy.
I mean, things like what's happening now, just with injuries and things that's going to happen throughout the season. Like, so being able to adjust like that is nice. And if you're in a more of a defensive role or offensive role, just try to change your game based off that. And right now with Zuki being gone, trying to maybe help this team offensively a little more. Trying to get some more. I feel like I haven't gotten too many 5-and-5 scoring grade A opportunities the last couple games. So hopefully, the next few, try to get in the middle of the
Hartz
ice.
and I are heavy on you on our bold predictions. Heavy.
The what prediction?
We have
do
bold predictions at the start of
the
every
season.
year.
Yeah.
We were very bullish on Ryan Hartman
Okay.
this year.
All
So
right.
we got a
in
vesting
there.
interest. Yeah.
Get in there.
So we're rooting for you for sure.
What was your bold prediction?
I got him at 60 points.
I think I had him at 30 goals again.
All right. Start now.
No, but I just
I'll start trying.
All right, guys, I'll start trying.
how do you like Hartzy? He seems I think he's the first coach I've seen since we've been doing this where I can kind of see the coaching in a good way. Does that feel kind of reassuring to know like you've got the plan, you've got your option 1, option 2? Seems pretty tight since camp even.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's been good. It's been, like you said, tight. Everyone knows, organized, knows what we're doing, and kind of sometimes adding stuff if we need to. And, if we need to change some things based off a certain look that another team has, we'll make a change. And, it's big. Obviously we're all talented players, and we all can, go out there and just play, but having a game plan helps for sure.
Right on, man. Well, I think you're kind of on borrowed time right now, so we should get you out of here, but appreciate you stopping by. Good luck hosting. Let me know if how things go there, but appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, man. Good luck, and let us know how the eggnog goes. A heavy elbow.
For sure.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Later.